Gaming at 4K usually requires a graphics card that costs at least $1,000 and 16 gigabytes of VRAM. But can a $5 GPU with an eighth of the VRAM do it? This is the NVIDIA GeForce GT 730, a graphics card that was never intended for gaming, but as a way to get extra video out, or as a way for OEM PC manufacturers to put the dedicated graphics label on their PCs. So naturally, I'm going to game at 4K on it. Yeah, this should go well. Before starting this though, I do want to set some expectations. Obviously, this isn't going to get anywhere near 60 FPS, but if the game opens and I can somewhat play it, I'll take that as a success. The setup I'm pairing this card with today is my testbench PC with an i5-13500, 16GB of DDR4 RAM, and a 500 watt power supply, ensuring nothing holds back the GT 730. The first game I played was Far Cry. At 4K with the lowest possible settings, it felt pretty choppy and clunky, and I found it really difficult to play. It averaged around 30 FPS, which is technically playable, but the frame rates were very inconsistent, making the experience feel much worse than the frame rate would suggest. Overall, it wasn't a great experience. Next up was Minecraft 1.19.3. I actually tried newer versions first, but this was the newest one the GT 730 would run without crashing immediately. Once I got into the game though, the results were surprisingly decent. Performance stayed around 60 FPS with occasional dips into the high 50s. Considering some newer versions wouldn't even launch, this was a much better result than I would have expected, and I'd have no problem playing it like this. After these first two games, things started going downhill. Next, I loaded up GTA 4 at 4K with the lowest possible settings, and the results were really rough. The game ran in the single digits for the entirety of the test, making it nowhere even close to playable. Honestly, it looked more like a slideshow than a video game. Next, I played CS2 at 4K with everything turned down as far as it could go, and it ran pretty terribly. It averaged around 10 FPS and everything felt super clunky. Aiming was nearly impossible, and even simple movements felt very sluggish. Overall, it was nowhere near playable. Finally, it was time for Cyberpunk 2077. At this point, I knew there was no chance it'd be playable, but I still wanted to see if the 730 could run it at all. I loaded up the built-in benchmark at 4K with the lowest possible settings, and somehow it actually ran. Performance dropped below 1 FPS, making it completely unplayable, but I was honestly shocked that the game even launched and managed to complete the benchmark without crashing. Overall, this experiment wasn't anywhere near realistic. Obviously nobody's buying a GT 730 with the intention of playing games at 4K. But honestly, considering that this card only cost me $5, the fact it was able to launch most of these games at all is pretty impressive. While the results range from barely playable to completely unplayable, the GT 730 still managed to push a 4K image and run games that it was never designed for in the first place. Would I recommend doing this yourself? Absolutely not. But as a fun experiment, I'd say it was worth it.